What's up? Got a picture of me and my granny. Grandma Mary. Yeah. Bringing her out here. Even though she's always all around me, but sometimes I like to be in a space where I actually physically can see her. Whenever she was alive, I'm able to physically see that. And, but yeah. What's up? What's up? What's good with you? Happy Sunday to you. It's a beautiful day. Another beautiful day. Something on my mind. Man, was about the 10 Commandments. And me being a trans guy who loves Christ. I love God. I was raised to know who Jesus is. I was raised to learn about his teachings. And I still follow Jesus today because while he was here on earth, he's been known to spread kindness, love, empathy, forgiveness. He's never been known to judge, ever. And if he were alive today, that's somebody that I'd be like, that's my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? That's if he was here right now, I'd be like, that's my brother Jesus, and we finna go walk around the park. But something that was coming to my mind is the 10 Commandments and how so-called Christians, there's a lot of false prophets out here. False prophets have been trying for years and years, and they have been succeeding with being a distraction and using topics like homosexuality, using trans folks, the latest topic, using that as a distraction. As a distraction, you ask, from what? Well, from the actual teachings of Christ. It's all a distraction. It is literally all a distraction. Something that has been harped on. As an individual who has gone to church, I remember always consistently hearing in the church about following the 10 Commandments, right? So, I brought my handy dandy notebook, aka the Bible. So, I thought about it. I said, well, hold on. What does the 10 Commandments actually say? Does the 10 Commandments, and that's the rulings. That's God said this is what you all will follow. Whenever whenever Moses went up to Mount Sinai, hopefully I'm saying that right. But whenever Moses went there and was told of these commandments, these were the 10 Commandments. Basically, follow this because I am your God, and this is what I'm commanding for you to do. Though following Jesus is a personal choice, it's a personal decision. There's no one or nothing actually forcing us to follow. It has to be a mentality, an emotional thing, a connection that you have with spirit. But there's still commandments. There's still things that are taught that we must follow and abide by. And again, I do understand that a book written years and years ago is going to have some translation differences, right? Things interpreted back then and how they're read now, or things written back then and how they're interpreted now might not match how it was written nor the intention of the writings back then. And so anyways, one of the things that I started thinking about was, well, what does the 10 Commandments even say? I know the basics, thou shalt not kill, steal, but I'm going to Exodus chapter 20 right now, because I'm gonna go through them real fast. So the first one says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Right? That's one of the commandments. You will have no other gods before him. Also, you will have no false, false idols, I guess you could say. No false idols. You will not have an image or a likeness of the heavens, and then bow down to that. You will not be bowing down or praying to false idols. It's another commandment. All right. It says, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Okay. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You shouldn't take the Lord's name in vain. Here's a big one. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Okay. The Sabbath, aka the seventh day. And the reason is because God created the heaven and the earth and the sea. He created all of that in 6 days. And on the seventh day, he rested. You know, he took a breather. Okay. He was like, I owe it to myself after creating all of this. I owe it to myself to relax. And that's what he did. So he wants us to do the same. We can work 6 days, but on that seventh day, we should be taking a day of rest. Not only us taking a day of rest, but in the Bible, it specifically mentions you take a day of rest as well as your manservant and your maid servant, so your female servant. Okay, that's what it was saying back then, because that's what it was like back then. Everybody had servants. Okay. Now, do everybody got servants? No, they're rich. And do the people who are got money and rich, are they making sure all of their workers get the seventh day off? You know, no. I will give it up, even though Chick-fil-A, they're you know, they put money in to support hate against the LGBTQ community. Even though Chick-fil-A did that, I'm the type of person where I can also recognize some good efforts that they have made, which them being closed on Sundays. They are trying to follow at least that commandment that God made. At least that one they're trying to follow. Okay. By not having their servants working on the Sabbath. Okay. The next one is honor thy father and thy mother. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. Okay. Honor your father and your mother. All right. I do that. I say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. I say all of that. My parents mean everything to me, and I respect them very much so. So something else, thou shalt not kill. Understood. Okay. Thou shalt not commit adultery. If you don't know what adultery is, it means you're married and yet you're having sex with someone else. You're cheating on your spouse. Okay. How many people do that? And by people, I'm specifically talking about folks who call themselves Christians and like to point the finger at the LGBTQ community, like to point the finger at trans folks like myself, whenever they should be paying attention to their own house, because either they're the one who's cheating or their spouse is cheating and they know about it and they're staying with that person. To what? So I guess so they don't look bad whenever they have to get a divorce, because they never should have married the person in the first place. Moving on. But people don't, I don't know. But I guess people not really talking about that commandment though that much. Okay. Thou shalt not steal. I'm pretty sure it happens all the time on social media. People stealing other people's posts. Stealing other people's direct posts. Like straight up, I've seen it so many times. Somebody steal copy it and paste it. Couldn't just forward somebody's post and give them credit. No, they copy and paste somebody's whole entire post as if they created that idea for themselves and didn't. Okay? That's something that happens all the time. All right? But a commandment is thou shalt not steal. All right? Thou shalt not steal. There's some false prophets out here that are stealing money from their congregation. And what I mean by that is money that goes into the tithes and offering each Sunday. Some of that money going right back into that pastor or minister's pockets for them and their direct household, for their own personal gain. But I guess we be ignoring that commandment. I guess folks don't want to talk about that commandment. Okay, they don't want to harp on that one. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Don't be lying on people. Okay. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass. And ass, they meant donkey, right? But if I use translation in today's time, that would have sounded weird. But you got to understand the time in which it was written. It meant something. It has different translations. They're not talking about your neighbor's actual ass, like they booty. It's talking about their ass as in their donkey, because people had them donkeys back then, okay? Yeah, they had them donkeys. So, and I think, hopefully I didn't skip. Yeah, I read every single commandment. So thou shalt not have any other gods. Thou shalt not make any graven images. So any false idols, and bow down to them. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. You shall remember the Sabbath day, which is the seventh day. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. And thou shalt not covet thy neighbor, the neighbor's house, neighbor's wife, manservant, maidservant, donkey. So I don't think anywhere in that what I just read said anything about homosexuals or somebody's gender identity. What I read there was kind of just, hey, the guideline to this is how you be a good person. All right. Don't be jealous of what your neighbor has. All right. Don't be jealous. Work hard for 6 days if you must, but on that 7th day, take a break. You deserve it. You know, don't steal, don't kill. Honor your father and your mother. Show them respect. So to all those things, where does it say in the 10 Commandments? Where in the 10 Commandments? The commandments ordered by God himself or herself, because God is everything, right? Where in the 10 Commandments did it say, don't be gay? Where in the 10 Commandments did it say, don't live your authentic life as your authentic self? Where in the 10 Commandments did it say, thou shalt not identify as a gender different from the one you were born in? It doesn't. Why? Because that doesn't fucking matter, okay? Just point blank, period. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But it's so easy to try to make someone else. It's easy to distract. The LGBTQ community, they're terrible. You know, they're so bad. It's so awful. Look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them. They do that because, or some of you who are probably watching, because, haters like to, how haters like to be. They be the loudest, boldest ones on stuff. They be so ready to, to tear somebody down. But any haters that's watching y'all, y'all like to distract. And be like, look at them, look. Why? Because you don't want people looking at you and seeing the wrong that you're doing in your house. Someone being homosexual or me being transgender and happy and treating people well in this life. Me doing that has nothing to do with anyone who is directing hate towards me. It has nothing to do with them. But whenever you are the one doing wrong in your life, it hurts you to even focus on yourself, because that means you have to swallow the bitter truth of who you truly are, which is someone who is probably evil, probably wicked, probably locked into your ways of being deceitful and dishonest with people, probably lying on yourself, lying to yourself, lying on others. You know, it's too hard for you to, focus. So you have to look at that. If someone is deflecting constantly, it's the LGBTQ community, it's the trans folks, and then they want to piggyback and say, well, because God, because the Bible, well, it's like I don't want to hear it, because let's just go to the 10 Commandments. Let's go to that, okay? And whenever all of a sudden the 10 Commandments has something in the Bible, in the 10 Commandments, whenever y'all find the script that says something about trans people, then talk to me. Because guess what? It ain't never gonna happen. Because guess what? It ain't in there. It ain't. Okay, Granny, what? She said it ain't. She said it ain't in there. Thank you. Thank you, Granny. Thank you. I love you. My granny birthday was April 11th. Her birthday just passed. So her heavenly birthday passed. I had a great Friday. I know I just switched. I just switched. Because I'm over. Anyways, but yeah, the 10 Commandments say what they say for a reason. And people need to do more focus on making sure their house is clean and making sure they right their own wrongs versus trying to find fault in someone else, i.e. the trans community, who literally be out here just spreading love, joy, positivity, uniqueness, But yeah, until next time, much love to you. Keep your head up. Whatever you have going on in your life, keep your head up. Keep smiling. That's the main thing. Just keep smiling. God got me. Yeah. Know that God got you. God never said it was going to be easy. Right? God never said it was going to be easy. The people who have an easy life, easy road, it's because they don't stick to their core values of being really authentically themselves. They want to appease others. They want to please others. They want to please society. They don't want to ruffle any feathers. They want to just go in the line of what society says. Hey, be like this, do this, do that. They want to do that. Why? Because they're too scared to live in their truth. They're too scared to look at themselves in the mirror and say, hold on, I think this way, or I feel this way. How do I live my life the most full way I possibly can if I'm denying myself? The 10 Commandments don't say none about transgender people. But it's just so crazy how people in the church or Christians or, whatever. And I'm specifically talking about people who follow God and Christ, not no atheists. I really don't care what they got to say about nothing about spirituality or nothing, because it's not the topic of this discussion specifically, because it's directly about the 10 Commandments. But for the folks who say they're Christians, yet they not following the 10 Commandments, they doing something wrong up in there. Even if it's working on the 7th day, it's like, how about you focus on you? Focus on you. Let transgender people be themselves in peace. Life is just too short to be constantly putting your focus and energy on others, you know, and that's why I'm so big on putting my focus on me. I don't have energy to be looking at what Johnny and Tim and Jill is doing in their lives that I don't agree with. I don't have time. I would rather spend my time, my effort on doing stuff that makes me happy, makes me feel good, makes me feel even more at peace. Like, I'm finna go walk through these bluebonnets over here barefoot. I'm about to take these shoes off. Yeah, about to take these off and walk barefoot all up and down these bluebonnets over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm happy. Ain't nobody out here bothering me. Why? Because I'm just a person at a park minding my own damn business. Existing. Again, pointing out I'm a trans guy existing. This is what it looks like for me to exist. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. Woo! It just ruffles so many feathers. Me being able to be out here and living. Like, you know? You see them blue bonnets down there? I'm finna be walking in them, okay? I'm finna be walking in them. But anyways, much love to you. This video got a little bit long. It's gonna make for a great laugh and some great smiles later when I look at it in a few weeks or a few months or even in a few years when I actually check it out again. It's always gonna bring me some smiles when I see my stuff. Also, I don't be editing my videos. It's too much work. It's too much work. I don't got the time. I don't care because it's like, this is my own little, like, public, you know, because I did obviously make my account public, but it's my own, like, journal, you know, video journal log, to show me also my growth. Yes, I want to be able to be an example for others to see, but first and foremost, I'm doing this for me, and it feels amazing. It feels so amazing. I saw some signs, and yeah, we're done with the 10 Commandments talk. I'm moving on to something else. I saw some signs all weekend that was basically showing me that some good, very, very good news is on the way, and I feel so blessed to know that it's near. So, but yeah, enjoy your Sunday, enjoy your time. I'm gonna keep enjoying my time. Until the next video, take care of yourself. Much love. Have a great week. Yeah. All right, later.